The hiring station at Outpost 7 smelled like desperation and recycled air. Zara stood in line for the 4th time that day, her single eye fixed on the floor, her remaining arm clutching the worn data pad containing her work history. The 2 small Krell children pressed against her legs, silent and hungry. The Torvin hiring manager barely glanced up. "No openings for your kind. Next." "I can lift twice my weight," Zara said quietly. "I worked the mines on Krell." "Ah, 4 for 8 years before you lost half your parts?" The manager's mandibles clicked with amusement. "Move along. You're blocking the line." Across the corridor, Jake Morrison watched the exchange from the contractor's booth. He'd seen this happen 3 times already. The one-eyed Krell woman, polite and desperate, turned away by every station on the floor. The other species didn't even pretend anymore. Damaged goods, liability, bad luck. Jake stood up and walked over. "You still looking for work?" Zara's eye widened. She'd heard of humans, the strange newcomers to the galactic community, but never met one. "Yes, sir. Any work? I'm strong, I learn fast, I dock work. Loading and sorting cargo. It's dangerous. 12-hour shifts. You interested?" A Vraxian in line behind them laughed. "Human, you're making a mistake. Krell are weak enough with all their limbs. That one's broken." Jake didn't turn. "I asked her, not you." He extended his hand to Zara. "Jake Morrison, you start tomorrow. Oh, 600. Zara stared at his hand, then gripped it with her single arm. Her voice cracked. "Thank you." The docks of Outpost 7 were a maze of containers, fuel lines, and heavy machinery. Zara reported early. Her children left at the station's minimal care facility she could barely afford. The crew was already working, a mix of species that stopped and stared when she approached. A hulking Dren named Court blocked her path. "Boss really hired you? You gonna slow us all down, cripple?" "I won't," Zara said simply. Jake appeared from behind a cargo hauler. "Court, you've got Bay 12. Zara, you're with me on sorting. We've got a pharmaceutical shipment that needs separation by temperature class." Everything color-coded. "Think you can handle it?" "Yes, sir." The work was brutal. The containers were heavy, the classifications complex, and the other workers made sure to give her no help. Zara adapted quickly, using her powerful legs to brace containers while her single arm operated the scanner and sorting controls. She worked through lunch. She worked through breaks. When a container seemed too heavy to manage alone, she rigged a harness from loading straps and used her body weight as a counterbalance. By hour 10, even Court had stopped making comments. By hour 11, Zara noticed something wrong. She double-checked the manifest, then checked again. Her eye went wide. "Jake!" She ran toward the office. "Stop the loading on Bay 5 now!" Jake hit the emergency stop. The loading arms froze mid-transfer. "What is it?" "Chemical mixing. Someone put cryo-sealed vanadium compound in the same container as thermal-reactive catalyst. The codes are similar, but not the same. If those seals break during transit, the whole ship detonates." Jake's face went pale. He rushed to check her findings, then immediately called the shipping company. Zara had caught an error that would have killed everyone aboard the transport, and possibly damaged the station itself. The crew looked at her differently after that. Not friendly, but not dismissive. She'd earned something. A foothold. 3 weeks later, Zara's world collapsed again. Her daughter, Kira, developed the first spots of crimson fever, followed quickly by her son, Tav. The disease was deadly to young Krell, and the medicine cost 800 credits. Zara had earned 260. She stopped eating. Every ration she was given went into a bag for her children. She grew thinner, weaker, but she didn't stop working. Jake noticed on day 4 when she stumbled carrying a container she'd lifted easily the week before. "When did you last eat?" he demanded. "I eat enough." "That's not what I asked." He followed her eyes to the medical bay across the concourse, then to the care facility. It took him 10 minutes to find out about the children, another 5 to understand the math. He found Zara in the sorting bay, sitting against a container, trembling from exhaustion. "I'm advancing you 800 credits against future wages," Jake said. "I can't accept that. I haven't earned." You saved 30 lives and a cargo ship worth millions. You've earned it twice over. He pulled her to her feet. Get the medicine. Feed yourself. That's an order. Tears fell from Zara's single eye. In the galactic community, charity was seen as weakness. Debts were chains, but the human's face showed neither pity nor calculation, just determination. Thank you, she whispered. The other crew members didn't see it that way. Complaints filtered up to station management. Favoritism, special treatment. Why does the broken alien get advances when others don't? The discontent reached the ears of Voss, a Kalthari contractor who'd lost the dock contract to Jake by a narrow margin. He saw an opportunity. Voss approached Court in a station bar. Your boss favors the cripple over his real workers. Seems unfair. She works hard enough, Court admitted. But she's a liability. One mistake from her could cost you all your jobs. What if something went wrong and it looked like her fault? Morrison would have to fire her. Might even lose the contract. Then someone more qualified could take over. Someone who'd reward loyalty. Court's eyes narrowed. What are you suggesting? 2 days later, during a routine fuel transfer, the calibration system malfunctioned. Fuel sprayed across the bay, toxic and flammable. Emergency crews contained it, but a full investigation revealed someone had accessed the system using Zara's credentials. The evidence was damning. She was the last one logged in before the malfunction. I didn't touch that system, Zara insisted. I was in Bay 9 all day. The station authorities didn't care. You're terminated, effective immediately. If charges are filed, you'll face trial. Jake demanded to see the security footage. She wasn't anywhere near that terminal. The logs don't lie, human, the Torvin security chief said. Her access codes were used. Then someone stole them. Jake spent 12 hours reviewing footage, tracking movements, cross-referencing timestamps. He found Court accessing a data port during a shift change, found the brief conversation with Voss outside the docks, found the credit transfer to Court's account. But Voss had connections. Station management stonewalled. Without direct proof, nothing would happen. Then the solar storm hit. Alarms shrieked across the station as radiation levels spiked. Emergency protocols sealed the dock levels, but 17 workers were trapped in the lower bays when the blast doors malfunctioned. The radiation shielding was failing. The manual override required someone to reach a control junction through a flooded maintenance tunnel now electrified by damaged power conduits. No one can make it through that, the emergency coordinator said. The radiation alone. I can. Zara pushed forward. She'd come to collect her final wages and heard the crisis. Krell physiology. We evolved on a high radiation world. I can withstand levels that would kill any of you in minutes. You're not authorized. 17 people will die if someone doesn't try. Zara looked at Jake. I'm trying. Jake grabbed a radiation suit and modified it for her single arm. Do it. Zara descended into hell. The water came up to her chest, electrified cables sparking around her. Her Krell skin resisted the shocks better than most species, but pain still coursed through her. The radiation counter on Jake's tablet, monitoring her biosignals, climbed into lethal ranges for humans. For Krell, she had minutes. Maybe. She navigated by memory and touch, her single arm pulling her forward through the flooded passage. Twice she went under, the weight of the radiation suit dragging her down. Twice she surfaced, gasping. The control junction appeared ahead, a manual crank wheel designed for emergencies exactly like this. Zara gripped the wheel with her remaining arm. It hadn't been turned in years. Rust and corrosion fought her. She braced her feet against the wall and pulled with everything she had. The wheel didn't move. She adjusted her stance, using her entire body as leverage, her muscles screaming. The wheel shifted. 1 inch, 2 inches. With a grinding shriek, it turned fully. Emergency power engaged. The blast doors opened. Zara collapsed into the water. Jake pulled her out himself, carrying her to the medical bay. The 17 trapped workers stumbled out behind her, alive. Station authorities arrived, already preparing their official report. An unfortunate accident. Systems restored. Minimal damage. Minimal? Jake's voice cut through the room like a blade. That woman just saved 17 lives by walking through conditions that would liquefy most species, and you're going to write it off as minimal? The situation was contained by her, and before this she was framed by Voss and his paid saboteur court. I have the evidence, transaction records, footage, all of it. Either you investigate this properly, or I release everything to the galactic feeds and let them decide if this station is safe. The room went silent. The 17 survivors stepped forward one by one. A Dren, a Vraxian, a Torven, a human. Species that had dismissed or ignored Zara now stood beside her. She saved my life, Court said quietly. The big Dren looked at Zara with something like shame. I helped frame her. Voss paid me. I'm ready to testify. The investigation took 3 days. Voss was banned from all stations in the sector. Court faced charges but received leniency for cooperation, and Zara received an offer. Permanent supervisor position, full medical benefits for her and her children, and a formal commendation from station management desperate to avoid a public relations disaster. Zara stood in Jake's office, her children healthy and playing nearby, her future suddenly secure. Why? She asked. Why did you help me when no one else would? Jake smiled. Humans spent a long time being underestimated, told we were too weak, too primitive, too emotional. We know what it's like when the galaxy counts you out. He extended his hand again, the same gesture from that first day. And we learned something important. Never abandon someone who's willing to fight. You fought harder than anyone I've ever met. Zara gripped his hand, her single eye bright with tears that no longer came from desperation, but from hope. Behind them, the docks hummed with activity. A one-eyed, one-armed Krell mother was now responsible for keeping it all running. And she would do it better than anyone thought possible, because a human had given her the chance. And humans, she had learned, believed in chances.